It's time for my neighborhood of the month, and this time we're in Manhattan with the spotlight on Greenwich Village. Originally named Sabakonikan by the native Lenape, which meant tobacco field, the area comprising Greenwich Village was colonized by the Dutch in the early 1600s. The name Greenwich comes from the Dutch word Greenwich, which means green district. Unbeknownst to many, Greenwich Village was home to what is considered to be the first free African settlement in all of North America. In 1644, 11 Dutch Africans were granted half freedoms and received parcels of land in present-day Greenwich Village, along with a few parts of Soho and the Lower East Side. It's estimated that the area had 30 African-owned farms. The settlement remained for over 70 years until 1716, but this wasn't the end of the black community in the village. In the mid-1800s to the early 1900s, a black neighborhood known as Little Africa thrived. It was primarily located in the southern part of Greenwich Village and is considered by many historians to be the immediate cultural precursor to Harlem and the Harlem Renaissance. In the early 20th century, cheap housing in the area attracted artists and open-minded folks who were beginning to question the current political and cultural paradigms of the time. This became such a defining characteristic that the area garnered the nickname Little Bohemia beginning in 1916. For several decades, places like the Hotel Albert served as cultural linchpins, hosting luminous guests over the years like Mark Twain, Salvador Dali, Anais Nin, and Jackson Pollock. And following on the heels of the Bohemians, the village became well known for being the cradle of beatnik culture, playing home to numerous clubs and cafes associated with the movement and well-known beatnik figures such as Jack Kerouac and Allen Ginsberg. Greenwich Village was also home to the first racially integrated nightclub in the entire country, Cafe Society, which saw the likes of Ella Fitzgerald, Miles Davis, and Billie Holiday to name just a few incredible headliners. The cultural openness of the village enabled the LGBTQ community to develop and thrive in the area, and the area's history is inextricably tied to the queer and trans community's fight for equal rights, as evidenced by monuments like Stonewall, the AIDS Memorial at St. Vincent's Triangle, and the advocacy organizations which continue operations in the area. Despite the thriving cultural scene and rich history of the area, post-war development was a looming threat for the village in the 1950s and 60s. Preservation was piecemeal in the beginning, starting with the preservation of the Jefferson Market Courthouse, spearheaded by Margot Gayle. And then there was the famous fight between preservationist and urbanist Jane Jacobs and Shirley Hayes against Robert Moses over traffic going through Washington Square Park. Lucky for us, Jacobs and Gayle won. Some smaller districts with clusters of historic homes were initially approved here and there, but it wasn't until 1969 that the Landmarks Preservation Committee approved the creation of a larger Greenwich Village Historic District, and in doing so, they created a charming, much-beloved pocket of the city that feels like you've stepped back in time.